Hello, everyone. This is Florian Munsch from Goldgeldwelt. And today I have the honor and the opportunity to speak to Alan Carter of Cabral Gold. And I will ask Alan some questions about the gold market in general, because I know it's a very special time at the moment and many different opinions here. And I will ask Alan about that. And also give him the opportunity to share some thoughts with us about Cabral Gold, his venture in Brazil with around 1 million ounce gold currently, and more to develop. So Alan, let's dive into this. Welcome to the call.
Thanks for being here, Florian.
Great. I just said it in the introduction. I would like to know what you are thinking on gold right now. So we have a new president in the US just elected, not elected, inaugurated today. We have Federal Reserve printing a lot of money to cope with a COVID crisis, still not solved. So many factors currently in the market. How do you see the gold price developing in the near future?
Florian, I'll be very clear. I mean, obviously I'm biased because I run a gold exploration development company, but I think gold price is going up. I think there are multiple drivers for that. You just touched on the principal one, in my opinion, which is all the fiscal stimulus, which is coming down. We've just got a new Democratic president in the US who has signaled very strongly that he intends to keep providing stimulus to the US economy. And he's not alone. There are many countries around the world that are basically providing an enormous amount of fiscal stimulus into their system. So that has to be good for gold. And the gold price, I think, will continue to go up. I think added to that, you've got the fact that over the last 10 years or so, the major gold mining companies or the major gold producers have really not been investing in exploration. So there is obviously a supply drop coming up. So I think you look at that on the backdrop of increasing, in all likelihood, there is going to be increasing demand as the value of our euros and our dollars and our yen become worth less. You've got this backdrop of the major gold producers. A lot of the big mines are actually, the production is declining. So I think when you overlay that against the sort of macro environment, then the only way that gold is going up, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a tremendously interesting time for investors who are actually positioned in gold. And I would strongly advise anybody, any investor, and I'm an investor myself, to actually participate in gold investing, be that buying gold bullion or gold mining companies, or smaller junior explorers, where, of course, the explorers, you're getting maximum leverage. So, some of these exploration companies are likely to increase by a factor of 10 or 20 over the next year or two. So, obviously, no guarantees. It is higher risk, but that is where you're going to get maximum leverage to the increase in gold price.
I think we are at a very interesting stage in the market because gold prices have been, so there was a huge rise, around 25% in gold price in 2020. And momentum is still there, even though we have a little bit of a consolidation right now. But as you said, the fundamentals are all in, and the big gold producer, the gold mining companies, people already have a look at them, and they got up in price. And what's usually the place is that the juniors are lagging behind. It's every time it's the same. And now it could be a big opportunity to invest in gold juniors like Cabral Gold. Because as you touched on it, the pipelines of the big producers have to be refilled at some point.
Yeah, and I think the junior companies that you want to be looking at are companies with real assets, ideally within areas which are right next door to major companies, where major companies have a land position, a mine or an advanced project. And the juniors that you should be looking at are juniors with a real asset, with ounces already defined in the ground, and enormous upside. Those are the sort of companies that I look at, and I think those companies offer maximum leverage to the likely increase in the gold price going forward.
Yeah, let's touch on Cabral Gold. So you are located in Brazil. Would you give us an introduction?
Yeah, well, look, Cabral Gold is a small company. We are listed in Canada on the TSX Venture Exchange. We have a 1 million ounce asset here. We're in Brazil, as you said. Brazil, very, very interesting country. Obviously, it's the largest country in South America, 220 million people. There are a lot of major gold miners and producers in country. For example, Kinross's largest gold mine is in Brazil. So Kinross being one of the world's largest gold mining companies, Anglo Gold Ashanti. They're on a number of different continents, most of the world's continents actually. Multiple mines, one of the world's largest gold producers. They have 3 mines in Brazil. Equinox Gold, which is probably the world's largest gold or fastest gold producing company, fastest growing at least. They have 4 of their 6 mines are in Brazil. We've got London Mining who are there. We've got Yamana, and we have a host of mid-tier producers. So the geologic potential of Brazil is exceptional, in my opinion. The other thing about Brazil, which is very, very compelling, is that we can work in Brazil 12 months a year, so all year round. So we're able to drill 12 months a year. That's very different to a lot of the parts of northern US, Canada, for example, where, obviously we have long winters, it gets very cold. Obviously, Brazil doesn't have that kind of issue. So we have an advanced gold project. We are in a part of northern Brazil called the Tapajós region. The Tapajós region, most people in Europe and North America have never even heard of it, but it's in a big state in northern Brazil called Pará State. And the Tapajós region is the site of the world's largest gold rush in history. It started in 1978 and really ended in about 1995. So it's a fairly recent phenomenon. Actually, it happened in my lifetime. And the gold rush that started here in 1978 was 10 times larger than the California gold rush. We all know where San Francisco is.
In terms of ounces, or what do you think? What do you mean?
Well, the government of Brazil estimates that during that period, there was 20 to 30 million ounces of gold recovered from multiple streams and rivers. It was all informal placer mining that occurred during that period. And all that gold that was recovered from the streams, the sand and the gravel and streams, is obviously being eroded over millions of years from hard rock sources. And so to give you some idea that in terms of people, at least, the gold rush that happened here, as I said, was 10 times larger than the California rush. Most people in Europe and North America have never even heard of it. So there's an enormous amount of placer gold that was eroded into the streams, recovered from the sand and gravel. But the real opportunity here is, where is all that gold being eroded from? And so, I've been obsessed for the last 15 years or so of my career about where all this gold was coming from. And Cabral Gold has an incredible land position in this part of Brazil. We're one of the first movers here. We already identified 2 deposits. We have 1 million ounces already drilled off in the hard rock. So we know where some of the gold is coming from. Our area was the richest area during the gold rush days in the Tapajós. So it was the richest placer camp, if you like. Currently, we think the 2 deposits that comprise the 1 million ounce resource that we have drilled off in the hard rock explain about 10% of that placer gold. So the question really for us, and the question for our shareholders, is where is the other 90% of the placer gold coming from? And so, that's where we're focused on. We have 2 rigs turning right now. So we're generating a lot of drill results. We've had some very good drill results recently. And we're going to keep drilling here on multiple targets within our district over the next 6 months. It's a district scale opportunity. We're targeting 5 to 10 million ounces. There may be more gold than that ultimately within the district, but it's going to be quite an exciting time, I think, for us as a management team and as a company going forward.
I think it's worth looking at the I say second row of the developers. So you have 1 million ounces in indicated and inferred, but there's 18 kilometers, if I'm right about that, of a gold anomaly. So potential for you to find more. And you just said a 5 to 10 million ounce target for now. So lots of opportunity there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Florian, as you know, I have a PhD in gold, so I'm actually originally trained as a geologist. And I think if you asked my geology friends if they were looking at Tapajós as a new district and wondering where they might find where the big deposits would be in the Tapajós, all of my friends who are geologists would first go to the area which produced the most amount of placer gold, and we control that. We own it 100%. We think we've got a project which is truly world-class, and we have some great neighbors. As I mentioned, we have Eldorado Gold, who are right next door to us, so the claims are contiguous. They have a 2.3 million ounce deposit, which is right on our doorstep. And their area during the gold rush period produced about 200,000 ounces from the streams. Our area, which is right next door to theirs, produced 2 million ounces from the streams. So there's 10 times more gold exploited during the gold rush days from the streams on our area as there was on Eldorado's area. So we're quite optimistic just based on that fact that we're going to find a lot more gold in the hard rock here. So as I said, it's going to be a very exciting time for us moving forward.
And talking of great deposits just in your neighborhood, what is your exit strategy for Cabral Gold? So would you like to develop it all by yourself, or would you consider being bought out at some time?
Well, our strategy here, Florian, is to determine just how many gold deposits we've got here. So we've already got 2. As I said, we think we've now got a 3rd. As I said, we've been getting some very, very good drill results from a 3rd area. But beyond that 3rd area, we have some very high-grade drill results on 8. That's right, 8 target outside of those three deposits. So look, I'm not suggesting that all 8 of those will actually we'll have 8 more deposits, but I think several of those, there's a very good chance that several of those could be additional deposits beyond the 3 I've just mentioned. So exit strategy is here. What we need to do is find out how many gold deposits we have and how many contained ounces, and then we will start with a scoping study and a pre-feasibility study. A lot of people ask me, Florian, well, when are you going into production? Well, it will be a while before we get into production because we've got to go through a scoping study and a feasibility study, but that's not where the value is created. If you invest in junior gold stocks, as many of your viewers will know, is the real value is created at discovery stage. So if you're looking to make 700, 800, 1,000% gain on your investment in a junior explorer development company in the gold space, you should be looking at junior companies that have high quality projects, preferably with an existing resource base. There may be some that don't have existing resource bases that look very likely they're onto a major discovery. But if they've got an existing resource space, I would suggest that's a great thing. We should be looking at companies that really are going to, the potential is not to add 30% to the resource or 50% of the resource. The potential is to add 500% or 1,000% to the resource. That is where you're going to get an enormous potential gain in this gold market.
And you yourself and the rest of the management team in Cabral Gold, you own quite a good chunk of the company, and you also have institutionals in the company. Could you talk about all that management ownership and also the capital structure and how much money you currently have in the bank?
Yeah, I think this is an unusual thing about an unusual feature of our company. Management owns 17% of the issued and outstanding stock here, but that's not because management has a whole bunch of cheap stock. I myself so far, and this company is just over 3 years old, I so far have put in 1.7 million Canadian dollars, so well over €1 million, into Cabral Gold. And that's my own money. And I live in a rented apartment, a small apartment in Vancouver. It's not mine. I could have bought the apartment with the money I put into this company. But look, I don't expect any of your listeners or your viewers to contemplate an investment in Cabral Gold unless, as a CEO, I'm heavily invested. And if you look at our PowerPoint presentation, you'll see what I've put in terms of the last few private placements. I put in about 1.7 million. It is an enormous amount of my net worth, as I said. And so we're heavily invested. And that really, there aren't a lot of other management teams that are so heavily invested in their company. And what obviously that does when you've got an enormous amount of your own money at stake here, it dominates your thinking. In fact, it dominates everything. I eat, sleep and drink Cabral Gold. I really do. But it's not just me and our management team who believe in the potential of our company and the project that we have. You alluded to the fact that we have about 40% institutional shareholders. So there are some very big institutional investors that are major shareholders in this company, some of which your listeners may be familiar with. There are companies like, or institutions like Dundee out of Toronto, Crescat out of the US, Phoenix Gold, Cisco, US Global, Royal Bank of Canada. These are all well-known institutions, particularly in North America, some of them in Europe. We've got a very good European following, as you know, Florian, that are invested in this company. So it's not just us as a management team that think we have something special in our project. There are obviously some very, very intelligent and well-researched institutional investors that also believe that. So, as I said, I don't expect any of your listeners to contemplate or consider an investment in Cabral Gold unless we are invested in it heavily as the management team. And as I said, we are.
Okay. How is the plan going forward? So just to ask again, how much money do you have in the bank account right now? Do you need any kind of raising in the near future? And how will you spend 2021 for Cabral Gold?
Well, we have about 6 million in the bank, Florian. So we're in a good position in terms of our financial position. Our drill program is a 25,000 meter drill program that we're in the early stages of. That is fully funded. As I said, we have 2 rigs running. So, we have a fully funded drill program here going forward. We are going to need additional funds moving forward, but we think as we get more and more drill results, and there's so many potential catalysts over the next weeks and months that we anticipate through the drill results, that hopefully a lot of those results will be very good results. As I said, a large proportion of the drilling, about 70% or so of the drilling that we anticipate doing, is going to be focused on following up 8 or 9 of those existing targets, which are outside the 2 main deposits, where we've already got some cracking drill results. And so we're very optimistic we're going to get some very good results going forward here in the short term. So multiple catalysts. It really, truly is going to be a very exciting time for us moving forward.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is Alan Carter of Cabral Gold, and you can find the stock on the TSX Venture under the symbol CBR. And I will also, for our German or European investor community, link how you can find the stock in Germany below. So thank you, Alan, and have good luck and all the best of success for you.
Thanks, Florian. Really appreciate it.